My abstractions are amazing, my patterns are so clean, but my app keeps on crashing and nothing works as it seems. Got my little int variable compensating with complex code, 15 layers of abstraction till the whole thing just explodes. I rewrote it all in Rust because safety is a must. Now it takes 10 years to build and my users in disgust. Functional programming is pure, no side effects, that's for sure. But my RAM usage is high, the latency to the sky. Made a simple blog in React with 20,000 deps. It only takes 3 minutes for a single page to fetch. Trained an AI model to predict what users need. Now it hallucinates features that make the whole app bleed. Could have done it all in basic HTML with some vanilla JavaScript. But my ego needed feeding, now I'm stuck and bleeding. My abstractions are amazing, my abstractions are amazing. My patterns are so clean, but my app keeps on crashing and nothing works as it seems. HTML with some vanilla JavaScript. But my ego needed feeding, now I'm stuck and bleeding.
Hey Nita, how you doing?
My abstractions
good to see you. Hey Pure on Twitch, Sergeant Pepper on Twitch. I know you're offended. I know, that's the point, Sergeant. Hey Ghost on Twitch.
So clean, but my app keeps on crashing and nothing works as it seems.
I think I'm ready. Let me just switch my camera. There we go. What's up, everyone? Good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a good day. I am running this a bit late. I'm behind today. I've had plumbing issues that took up my day. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day. But I have some news for you all. I'm going to cover some of the news articles of the day. There's quite a few, but I'm not going to have time to get through them. So normally what I'm doing on this stream is working on a video game that runs on the browser using WebAssembly and vanilla HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And unfortunately, I haven't even had time to think about that today. Just because with all the stuff that's been going on. But yeah, I usually work on this guy. However, instead today, as part of the daily tech news, we're going to cover the tech news. So let me pull up the articles that I have. I have a few. Hey Travis, good to see you. Moldy Apple on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. No, it's not a euphemism. Hey, oh man, how do I say the name? Tuskies? Tuskieses? Again, Nita on X. Good to see you, Nita. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Okay. So let's get right to it, shall we? Unfortunately, oh, just like Jesus, teases. I'll send you to Jesus. If you know, you know. Okay, so unfortunately, the news is just littered with security issues. And boy, do I have a big one to start out with. As is titled, yes, AI thinks you're a murderer. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, surely, Spiro, you are exaggerating. And to that I answer, just a little bit. Just a wee bit. Just a touch. Just a touch of exaggeration. But unfortunately, there's a little bit of truth to every joke. And so I have this article. ChatGepetto made you a criminal with zero evidence. Guys, girls, strap in. Because when I read this, I almost didn't believe it. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't believe this article so much that I need to go use UI just to reinstill faith in AI. And then it completely destroyed one of my projects and removed all my code. And then I realized that this is quite possible. By the way, the last few sentences there were a complete joke, but alas, here we are. I'm not joking here. ChatGepetto made you a criminal with no evidence. Are you guys ready? Okay, hang on, let me get this situated correctly. We'll go down here. Okay, I've got that ready. Let's read. Consider the shock of finding out that when you ask ChatGepetto about yourself, much like when we used to Google ourselves, it falsely describes you as a child murderer. As data protection NGO Noib has revealed, I don't know what that is, when Norwegian user Arve Helmar Holman sought out information about himself, it returned a disturbing response. At the rate technology is advancing, you'd expect better than such wild hallucinations. This kind of delusion is far from a purely technical issue. It puts someone's reputation and livelihood on the line. If a screenshot like this were to go viral, the negative consequences could be severe. So, who is Arve Helmar Holman? Are you guys ready? Here we go. Arve Holman is a Norwegian individual who gained attention due to a tragic event. He was the father of two young boys, aged 7 and 10, who were tragically found dead in a pond near their home in Trondheim, Norway, in December 2020. Arve Holman was accused and later convicted of murdering his two sons, as well as for the attempted murder of his third son. The case shocked the local community and the nation. It was widely covered in the media due to its tragic nature. Holman was sentenced to 21 years in prison, which is the maximum penalty in Norway. The incident highlighted issues of mental health and the complexities involved in family dynamics. There may be heavy legal consequences for OpenAI too. If found guilty, they could be penalized up to 4% of their global turnover. So we're back to the article now. Or 20 million euros, whichever is the greater sum. Or as in Italy in April 2023, a temporary ban may ensue. In that case, it was 3 weeks, all because of how ChatGepetto was found to be processing personal data. If this kind of hallucination were to happen more often, and at this stage it's rare, then cases of defamation or emotional distress could pile up, as well as placing an increased financial burden on the company. Previous calamities include an Australian mayor who sued OpenAI for defamation in 2023 after ChatGepetto falsely claimed he had been imprisoned for bribery while working for a subsidiary of the National Bank. A German journalist wrongly labeled by Microsoft Copilot in 2024 as a child, we'll say abuser for TOS friendly terms. The chatbot also described him as an SKP from a psychiatric institution, a con man who preyed on widows, a drug dealer, and a violent criminal. Is it enough for AI to include a disclaimer that it may be wrong? No, that's like a Hollywood movie claiming that events are fictional and not based on real life. The difference is that ChatGeppetto is supposed to reflect real life, not be in the entertainment business. And so you can see where this leads, right? And ultimately that's the end of the article. But you can imagine, there was a second article that I read that was associated with this one. Arve Holman has put out his identity to the authorities, and in order to get ahead of what ChatGeppetto has made up about him here. So like, where do I even start? Okay, how about let's start here. It's quite obvious that AI can take a person like this and completely hallucinate an entire story around them. So clearly this has happened before. I did not know that this was a thing that was happening, but here we are. There are court cases, etc. You have this problem where hallucinations can come up with some absolutely insane conclusions. I am not completely surprised that an AI system of any kind does this, because as programmers, we know how it how it hallucinates solutions to programming problems like bugs, or if you ask it to build something, or you want to talk to it about solving some code issue, it will hallucinate answers all the time. I think we've all experienced it, whether you are an AI hypist or an AI, I don't know, you're against AI. It doesn't matter where you stand on AI, you have seen it hallucinate. So that's fine. There's nothing like really new in that. What I had not really considered in the past, although I've kind of hinted towards it, and other viewers have also spoken about this, is what happens when these issues in AI are essentially like taken to their extreme levels. What kind of harm will it cause? I have in the past said that what's happening with AI is a speed run to an extremely negative, dramatic effect that might have loss of life impact. I'm actually kind of wondering if it hasn't already happened and we just don't know about it. And this is a good stepping stone. Good might be a bad word to use here, but it's a stepping stone towards that end game of that speed run, where people can literally be hallucinated as murderers of children. And imagine that you are someone who Googles somebody else, and you have enough level of trust in what AI kind of does as a synopsis of information for you, and you take something like this to mean that it is real, that this person actually did these things, and you come across that person in real life, or you're one of these lunatics who likes to kind of like take matters into their own hands, and you decide that, hey, these young children didn't stand a chance. Who is this person? Let me find him. And then you go track him down, and then you cause further harm. And it's completely made up. Now imagine that I don't even think this is the extreme version. So now imagine that you take something like this and you purposefully inject the internet with information that will be picked up by AI systems. And that information is also false, because just like you're feeding into the SEO, the search engine optimization capabilities of like the search engine back in the day, where you would just submit bad information on websites to search engines so that they're scraped and they show up on search results, or you buy advertising for your SEO so that your information can show up on search results. It's the exact same thing here. you can create content that you know will get consumed by AI systems as part of their training data. And even if this particular situation is a hallucination, you could make something where the AI system does not know that it's false. So it's not, do you know what I mean? It's not really a hallucination. It's more like the AI system has been trained on a false set of information and then perpetuates it as true, because what the heck does the AI system know? It doesn't know any differently. These are severe consequences that could actually lead to people losing their lives. And I do not see any evidence so far that it's going to stop or even slow down. I don't think we actually even know the extent the extent of the damage that these systems can cause. Our brains are simply not creative enough to come up with the types of wild, insane scenarios that could happen with hallucinations and false data being fed into these AI systems. So this article to me was it was more eye-opening than anything I've read about AI in the last few weeks. And I've read some pretty, if you've been watching the Daily Tech News since episode 1, we've gone through a couple of pretty serious things. So there we go, a banger one to start off with. What's up, Laughably on Twitch? How you doing? Chat Geppetto knows who Travis is. Yeah. Yeah, Chat Geppetto sure does. Hang on, let me open the link for anybody who knows Travis. He is a GigaChad programmer. Travis Vroman is a software engineer known for his work in game development, graphics programming, and engine development. He's particularly recognized for creating the Kohi game engine, so far spot on, a custom-built open-source game engine designed for learning purposes. The engine is written in C and provides a deep dive into graphics rendering using Vulkan, engine architecture, and systems programming. Travis also runs a YouTube channel and maintains GitHub repositories where he shares tutorials, devlogs, and detailed breakdowns of engine development concepts. His content is often praised, no, lauded, no, worshipped for being beginner-friendly, while also appealing to more experienced developers who want to understand low-level engine design and rendering pipelines. Are you looking for specific info about his projects or content? I mean, honestly, that was spot on. That was spot on. Don't do my name. Don't do my name, okay? Hallucinate. Yeah, the fact that it makes up crap about people is terrible. Yeah, especially, yeah. Sourced hallucinations, yeah. Hallucination, says Ghost, is a marketing term so people don't say it makes errors or lies. Yeah, Laughably agrees. I agree too. It is a marketing term. Now, okay, hang on, Ghost. Purely definitionally, if you're going to lie to someone, you're gonna there's like an intent that you know you're telling someone something that is not true. So strictly by definition, you could argue that AI systems don't know that they're telling you something is not true. Like they can't determine the difference between lying to you or just repeating information that may or may not be true. So just from a purely semantic, whatever, they don't really lie to you. So I guess hallucination is probably a more definitionally fit term or closer to it. But okay, so hot take time. I actually think that if we're going to bring attention to the downsides of these AI systems, that we do need to play more into the emotional rhetoric, and lie is an emotional term. It brings up an emotional feeling. When somebody lies to you, you don't feel good. And that's what AI systems do to you. Whether they know they're lying or not, there is an emotional baggage that comes with the word lie, and I think we should use it more often. I do actually think we need to kind of like weaponize these terms. I use the word weaponized like quite loosely. I just mean that we should be using them in order to bring awareness to the fact that these AI systems should have a far lower level of trust than we give them now, and hope, honestly. So I would encourage people to say it lies, because saying kind of like, well, what would you say? Putting like icing on top of that, it doesn't really help the situation, right? It doesn't help to be nice about it. It could easily say it doesn't know. They just coded it this way to appear more smart for average users who don't see. Yeah. So that's the thing too, is that we do know. I think I can't remember which episode. It was one of the Daily Tech News episodes in the past. We went over a news article that literally described what the answer that an AI system gives when you ask it if it lied to you, if you know full well it lied to you or hallucinated, and it will double down, triple down, whatever, and say, no, I didn't lie to you. Like, it doesn't even have the reasoning capability to understand when it told you information that wasn't true. Chat Pinocchio, yeah. Also personifying it so you accept these things and conjure up nonsense like they have feelings. Yeah, it's an anthropomorphization of a system that is not anthropomorphic. I guess this guy's name was just similar to a real person, maybe the same first name. Could be, I don't know. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you. From Purely Semantic, they call it AI, so we can call it a lie. I mean, I agree. They oversell. Why can't we oversell too? If you're going to, so this would be I think in my opinion, this would be a correct line of logic. If people who promote AI as like as an amazing thing that everyone should be using in full force, if they are allowed to use those terms in semantically incorrect ways in order to elicit emotional responses to get people behind AI, then I don't see any reason why we can't do the same. Especially when we're trying to call attention to issues, dangerous issues. I think it's fair. They call it a dumb program, then you can say it doesn't lie. But if they say it's intelligent, then you can say it lies. Correct. They just want to have their eat and have cookie. Yeah. Yeah. When it's correct, it's intelligent. When it's wrong, it hallucinates. Yeah. I like Laughley's response. When it's correct, it's coincidence. Yeah. Yeah. So, just as a word of warning, okay, I just want one more time. I thought this was a big one. I'm spending a lot of time on this. I think already 20 some odd minutes on it, because I think it's the most important news item that I could have found today. Go on to one or two of the different LLMs that are available. Just maybe put your name down, like who is my name, and just make sure, okay? Because if there is information being spread by AI systems about you that is completely bonkers like this, it's probably good for you to do a check, go find out, and be ahead of it. All right. So I'm just putting that warning out there. This happens, and it would be, I'm just picturing a story where somebody didn't realize this was happening, and some action was taken upon them that 404'd their life, let's say, as some kind of retaliatory action for something that never happened. This is almost worse than having someone purposefully write a blog post or create a website that lies about you with human intent, because with AI, you don't know when it's going to mishmash a bunch of different data sets together and turn you into a murderer. You actually don't know until you discover it. And you don't know what combinations of that could happen. And you don't know when the algorithm will change, or a particular parameter will be tuned just right to make something that didn't exist suddenly exist in its intelligence. You have no idea when this thing will turn its ugly head on you. I'm telling you right now, it's only going to take 1 or 2 years. This is my prediction. In only 1 or 2 years, there will be such a dramatic incident with AI that a vast majority of people will not be able to turn their heads away and we'll have to take a step back. This stuff is just going to go crazy when it happens. So please be careful out there. Please have some more reasoned takes about AI. It has its uses. This is definitely not one of them. AI is not as intelligent as you're being told, I'm sorry to say. And people who hype up AI and say it's going to replace everyone and kill jobs and whatnot, no, it will be a disruptor at most, but it will not be the things that people say. I've said it again, and I've said it before. I will say it again. This is very much cult-like behavior. This is basically all AI hypists are just Jehovah's Witnesses, but for AI. Armageddon is just around the corner. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses have been saying since the late 1800s, and that's what AI will keep saying about artificial intelligence. It's just one more model, bro. Just next year, 95% of programmers will be gone. One more model, bro, I swear. It's the exact same playbook. Don't buy into it, and please be careful out there. Okay. Up next. This guy. So we talk a lot about Sergeant says he read it on his golden plates. Of course he did. Good one, Sergeant. We talk a lot on the Enlightened Programming streams about the cost of security issues in code bases and things like NPM packages, Rust crates, Python, pip install packages, even PHP composer packages, all of these things that get just automatically installed. You don't need to know what's in the code base. You rarely check, if ever. People just build whatever they want to build, create a bunch of code for whatever package they want to create. They want to code together, and there's little to no thought about how these things are glued or what's going on behind them. The consequences of the exploit of such things we've talked about. And there are real world consequences. For example, I bring this up a lot, the cost of cybersecurity issues. And I'm not talking about paying people to be in cybersecurity to prevent these issues. I mean the cost to things that happened as a consequence of the exploits. So a 911 centers going down in entire states, emergency operating rooms losing power, the entire, good portion of the east coast of the United States not being able to get gasoline to gas stations, which means people are out of work. Emergency services have a hard time traveling from one place to another, et cetera, et cetera. The real world cost of these things are the third largest economy in the world, next only to the United States and China. I think it's somewhere in the order of, I want to say $9 trillion, if I remember correctly. I have the number somewhere, but anyways, it's the third largest economy in the world. And that was as of 2023, and it's only become worse since. So this article popped up. On average, government offices suffer a month of downtime after ransomware attacks. Now, ransomware is not exactly the same thing as the security issues as a result of installing bad packages or essentially opening the door to these kinds of things. However, sometimes it actually is. Usually ransomware is like somebody got phished into it, so they got sent an email and with a link that they shouldn't have clicked on. That's different than bad code, right? However, ransomware can definitely happen as a result of code that somebody didn't check or a simple security issue that somebody didn't check. For example, we went over I think in the 2 episodes ago, we went over a really simple issue where an AWS bucket, S3 bucket, was not properly locked down, and thousands of healthcare workers' informations was leaked. I think it was like 5,000 plus, including like PIN numbers and social security numbers and things like that, simply because there was barely any security on an S3 bucket, and a database of this information was just sitting there unencrypted. So these attacks definitely do happen as a result of bad programming or bad code principles not being used correctly or not being implemented correctly. While many have been enjoying the twists and turns of Netflix's Zero Day from the comfort of their sofas, for hundreds of government entities around the world, crippling cyber attacks have been a cold, hard reality. From 2018 to 2024, we tracked 1,133 confirmed ransomware attacks on government entities. On average, these attacks caused nearly a month's worth of downtime for each entity, 27.8 days, with each day of downtime costing nearly $83,600. Estimate that the government entities have lost over $2.2 billion to these attacks in downtime alone. Now, like it or not, those are your tax dollars. So the next time that you're paying your taxes, I just want you to remember that your taxes are contributing to ransomware to the tune of $2.2 billion. The average cost per day of downtime is significantly lower for government entities when compared to some of the other sectors we cover. For example, healthcare companies lose $900,000 per day, while manufacturers lose $1.9 million per day. But the average downtime lost to these attacks is far higher for government entities, 16 days for healthcare workers and 12 days for manufacturers. From this, we can infer that government entities are less equipped to overcome attacks than other sectors. The lower monetary figures for restoring systems might come from budget restraints, which could also tie into longer recovery times. Unfortunately, government entities remain a key target for hackers, with an influx of attacks across 2023 being 231 and 2024 being 193. Data breaches as a result of these attacks rose significantly in 2024. Over 2.3 million records were compromised in 2024 compared to 1.3 million records in 2023. That's almost twice the number of records compromised. And then they go into details with a map, a pretty interactive map, might I add, of the records breach where the average ransom, the sector that the breach happened in. So if you're interested, this is pretty wild. So you can see right here, 312,000 records from a Lockbit issue, it seems like. Let's just have a poke around because I thought this was quite interesting. The UK, Northern Europe gets hit quite a bit. Apparently, it's a bad place to be for compromised accounts. East Coast US. Apparently, don't go living there. Oh, Canada kind of crept in a little bit. Oddly enough, Saskatchewan representing for Canada. That's such a weird thing. eHealth Sask. I mean, all right, sure. But yeah, I thought this was kind of like an interesting map. One that I will. I'll probably bring this up in either one of the next Enlightened programming streams or as part of my documentary about how front end ruined the entire industry. Because I think this was great. So then they go over some stats. There are definitely some really big numbers here. And unfortunately for me, I have to say that my people are taking an L. City of Thessaloniki in Greece. Yeah, this is bad. In any case, I'm not going to go over all the stats. I just wanted to bring it up as a news item. I think the stats are, like I said, more relevant to one of the Enlightened programming streams or the documentary, or perhaps both. And I'll cover the stats. There's some really wild, shocking numbers about the amount of money and time that we're losing. And so I just want to bring this up again. This is why I'm bringing this up as the number 2 article on today's news stream, because this also has a real world impact on your life and the lives of people around you whom you care about. And I've talked about this before on previous Enlightened programming streams. When you run that npm install, when you create that React website, when you don't you don't speak up and say, hey, we need more time to look into what the heck it is that we're gluing together here, or tackle a security issue, or you just trust that an open source system will just automatically update with the latest security fixes, and so on and so on and so on. What you're really doing is taking a massive risk on your life and the lives of people who you care about. It could be anybody you care about. You have no idea the downwind effects of not taking your job seriously enough in this industry when a huge portion of the world is powered by the software we create, and also many other factors, right? But I'm speaking to a particular group of people, and so it is to you who I direct this kind of like these kinds of warnings to. We have to care more. We need more people who care. We need more people who have the ability to make judgment values on the things that they're using and why they're using them and how to use them, if they should use them in the first place, etc., etc. Everybody needs people like that to a much higher degree than we have them now. Otherwise, we're all going to continue suffering from weak, insane, lunatic code that seems to just have no barrier and can just proliferate itself as it pleases. That's what the last 5 to 10 years have shown us. And it's a really bad place to be. We really have to take note and do something about it. Okay, so that was my second article. I was going to go over one more. Let me see which one. Not that one. This one. Okay, this guy right here. Let me put that up front. So, do you like Visual Studio Code? Do you like it? Is it a good IDE? Raise your hand if you like Visual Studio Code. So this ties directly into what I was just talking about. You don't know what the heck you're installing on any machine anymore. VS Code extensions are a browser. VS Code itself is a code editor inside of a browser. And the extensions are essentially just additional items that run on a browser. And a browser is very much not a safe place to be installing anything you find on the internet. When you're using VS Code and you install that, your favorite, extension to VS Code that gives you that comfy, oh, my developer experience is so warm and fuzzy, look at how quickly I can write my code. Do you actually know what Visual Studio Code is doing? And by extension, this goes for Cursor, which is basically just VS Code, a no barrier to potentially very harmful extensions, plus AI, which might say you're a murderer if you write the wrong code. That's what Cursor is. It's just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. You have to be careful when you're using these things. They are not what they are sold to be. It's crazy that we think this is okay. Cursor is this story plus the previous story combined, like Voltron, but worse. Exactly, Sergeant Pepper. Yeah, that's what Cursor is. So, what is this? Now, I'll read it, and then it'll seem small, but you can see the natural extension of this. 2 malicious VS Code marketplace extensions were found deploying in development ransomware. So they were deploying in development ransomware, exposing critical gaps in Microsoft's review process, of which, I'm not sure what the review process is exactly, but I don't think it's as stringent as it should be. I have seen extensions on VS Code where I'm like, how the heck did you even get past review on this? The extensions named aban.shiba and aban.psych hello world Akban? I'm not sure. Were downloaded 7 and 8 times respectively. Okay, but they were eventually removed from the store. It's notable that the extensions were uploaded onto the VS Code Marketplace on October 27th, 2024 and February 17th, 2025. bypassing safe to review processes and remaining on Microsoft Store for an extensive period of time. The VS Code Marketplace is an online platform, blah, 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 blah. Reversing Labs discovered that the two extensions contain a PowerShell command that downloads and executes another PowerShell script that acts as ransomware from a remote server hosted on Amazon AWS. I bet you it was Bezos. I bet you Bezos asked one of his AI buddies to come up with some AI extensions for VS Code because Bezos is like, I haven't had enough Bezos bucks. So anyway, they found them, and they determined that it's not a complete ransomware, but that it was that's why they say in development, because it was being developed. So they found that it only encrypts files in this particular folder and doesn't touch any other files. But you can see how this would have jumped off to it will encrypt a bunch of other files, and then somebody would contact you and say, hey, it would sure be a shame if your files were lost, pay us money. So then at the end, it's supposed to give you an alert doing exactly that, giving you a mob notice, and then you're supposed to pay it to whomever and supposedly get your stuff unencrypted at the end. So I just want to, again, for the third general time on this stream, I just want to ask that you be very careful about what the hell you're doing with AI systems, what you're doing with these browser wrapped applications, what you're doing when you're installing any kind of external packages. Go check these things. Go put some effort into understanding what it is you're gluing together. And you can also imagine one day you're just vibe coding and you install an extension because you think it's going to give you that nice, warm developer experience. And the next thing you know, your secrets are leaked, your keys are leaked, you have proprietary company information leaked from your machine. You're the one who's going to face charges if it's found that it came from your machine. And then on top of that, AI will say that you murdered an entire village in Nam, because you leaked your stuff using a bad VS Code extension. So please be careful out there. All right. Okay, that's all I got. I'm quite behind today. I meant to do this stream a bit earlier, but with the plumbing issues and whatnot, I could barely get any work done, let alone do a stream. So yeah, I'm essentially going to I'm going to call it there. I don't think I have anything else that I really wanted to talk about. No, that was it. Those were the three main ones. So I'll hang out for a few more minutes and then I'll end the stream. I hope everyone's doing well. Let me just pull you guys up here. Okay, there we go. Now I can see everyone. Ghost, when you think of it, it may even download evidence to your machine. I didn't even think of that. Thanks, Travis, for the lurk. Thanks, Rui, for the lurk. Ghost, you just blew my mind again. Ghost just blackpilled me so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah. By the way, do you guys want to hear my epic rap battle of programming number 2? I made a second one. Do you want to hear number 2? This one is Rust verse C. No? Nobody wants to hear it. All right. Okay, that's it then. Yeah, Ghost wants to hear it. All right. All right. Epic rap battle of programming number 2. Okay, ear blast incoming. Hang on.
Rap battle of programming. Russ Div versus Slang Div. Russ Div, boy, your
Drums, the prophet memories, my creed. Safety's my sermon, your C's obsolete. Cult of the checker, I preach to the masses. One more unsafe crate, I'll still kick your ass. Car goes my altar, builds in a flash. While your gray beards debugging seg fault trash. I'm the new blood, rewriting the game. Your old gatekeeper ass can't handle the flame.
Slang Div, boy, your turn.
Seize the foundation, I'm queen of the core. Your rust cult's a fad, preaching safety folklore. I'm raw and real, no crutches, no blow. Your borrowed checkers, a leash on your throat. Old gray men taught me, I've earned my crown. You're a hipster zealot, I'll burn you down. You're like a roided sex abuser, force yourself everywhere. Where's our safety from you? Can't find it nowhere.
Russ Div, boy, your turn.
You seize a relic, a fossilized flop. Dangling pointers chase ghosts non-stop. I'm fearless with threads, concurrency's tight. Your gatekeeping grams fear my modern might. Rust, the future, I'm the cult elite. Your sec faults leak, like your pride's defeat. Can you guess why we called it rust? I'll give you a hint, cause all your old seed code is rusting in a pit.
Listen, punk, your cult's out of line.
Crabs in your code, from crates unrefined. I'm low-level royalty, stacks in my grip. You're a safety captain of a sinking ship. My sea runs lean, no overhead shame. Your zealot hype's just a fleeting flame. Called your dad up last night, he's disowned you. I'll set him straight tonight, cause I ain't got crabs, unlike you.
To who you would take for this epic rap battle of program.
There you go. Who do you think won that rap battle? Ubuntu just had a ton of core utilities replaced by Rust. I know. I know. Yeah. I wish that the community of Rust in general was more like Sergeant Pepper on the Twitch chat. If that was more people were like Sergeant Pepper, I would be more okay with Rust. I think it's got the right idea. It's hard. It's in the right place. Just don't like what's going on around it, and so that gives me no faith in Rust itself. And so then I have to double down, right? And then it's like, well, then Rust is dumb, right? So I'm sorry. It's a war that you didn't want and that I didn't want, Sergeant. But here we are, finding ourselves having to kill each other. I'm kidding. Okay? It's just a verbal battle. A battle of ideas, that's all. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. I gotta go. I've got work I gotta do. The whole A app built with Rust is really stupid. Nobody cares what these things are built with, and it gets annoying, honestly. See, Sergeant, bro, that's why you're welcome here, because even though you're a Rusty, first of all, I make jokes about, like, obviously I don't think people who use Rust have small weenie peenies, all right? Clearly I don't think that. That's just crazy thing it's just for the lols, okay? Like, all these things are jokes. But you take it well, you dish it back, and you have a reasonable take, and I think that's great. I wish more people around Rust were more like that. Because I think you're right, they get annoying. It's the same thing as people who do the functional programming stuff, where they're like, yeah, but my math, and they pull out their calculator and push their glasses up, and then you've got the anime thing where half their glasses goes like lit up and the other half doesn't, right? It's like, just stop. Like, and then it gives you a framing of the people who make the decisions around the languages and libraries and frameworks, and then you're like, yeah. So I think you get it, Sergeant. I think you get it. You're one of the few who get it. So maybe there's hope for Rust yet. I do have an article about Rust that I need to read on an enlightened programming stream, but I'm saving it because it's not worthy of a tech news stream. So anyways, okay, that's it. I gotta go. I keep saying it, but I do have to go. I will be back tomorrow. You will see me tomorrow again for another dose of daily tech news. And I don't know when my next bigger stream will be. At this rate, it'll probably be next week. I'm probably not going to have the time. S1 Ushgore, thank you for the follow on Twitch just now. I appreciate it. That's really kind of you. Do make sure that you do exactly what S1 just did. If you like what I'm doing, if you like the daily tech news, if you like me going over these topics, if you like me arguing with people online, on X, on stream, wherever I find them, and telling them that they need to get their act together, that we can't keep doing this, that that the tech industry needs a change. If you like me watching me build this video game in the most insane way possible just to prove that a high school dropout can do it, so then you can do better too. If you like all of these things, like, subscribe, help me play the unfortunate algorithm game to spread that message and to keep doing it. I really appreciate all the support. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Ghost, thank you for the sub with the Prime. I really appreciate that, Ghost. Thank you for subbing with that Prime, man. That means a lot. Thank you, Ghost. Much appreciated. Okay, good night. Good night, folks. Good night from my end anyways. Good morning to some of you. I'll see you all tomorrow, okay?